Welcome, parents and caregivers. Today, we are going to look at a few questions we can ask our kids at the start of each virtual learning day. As a parent myself, I know that the mornings are my craziest, busiest time of the day. Getting ready for work, getting the kids breakfast, getting them ready for school, it seems like we're rushing around. And now with virtual learning, there can be some added challenges to that. And so today on my screen, I have a couple of questions that we can go over with our kids to help transition to a smooth learning virtual day. So to begin with, one thing that we can start with asking our students is, what do I do? Not what do I do as a parent, but what do you do as the learner? So are we sitting there rolling around in our chair or scooting down or maybe typing in the chat? No, what do I do as a learner? Just as I would in school. I'm sitting there, I'm focused on what my teacher is teaching me. I'm thinking about when I have a question and raising my hand. And so to be an active learner empowers our students to really take hold of their learning. And so during this unique time of virtual learning, what do I do as a student is a really important question to ask at the start of each day. Students will articulate that and it will become more of a routine for them. A second question that we can ask our kids is, what do I listen for? This is a really, really important question. And I'll tell you, I have my kids in class answer this question all of the time. As a teacher, each and every lesson I teach, regardless of the subject, I have an objective in my mind. I have a teaching point. It's what I want my kids to be able to learn, to be able to then practice and apply on their own during independent reading or independent writing time. And that's what my lesson is surrounded by. And so as a student, we can ask, what do I listen for? So what is it that I'm listening for today as my teacher is teaching my reading mini lesson? What skill is he or she trying to teach me? What strategy are they showing me that I know I'm going to need to try on my own when I go off to read independently or to write independently? So this second question, starting our day of what do I listen for? Having students think about that deeply will have them become so much more engaged during the lesson. And finally, and this is a really important one that I have to tell you, I have learned kind of the hard way as a teacher during virtual learning, especially last spring. What materials do I need? And as students, it's really difficult for them to be learning sometimes through a computer and bumbling through with materials. As teachers, we always took for granted that if a pencil broke, I could go run and get you a new one. Or if you were running out of Post-its, I could run to the writing center and grab you some more. Having sort of some of those limitations right now can add to some of the frustrations that we can help alleviate. So at the start of each day, before we log on, what materials do I need? Asking our kids that and helping set them up will go a long way for a smooth virtual learning day. I've seen some kids who do a subject at a time so they don't feel overwhelmed by materials everywhere. And yet I've seen others who set up their learning spot in almost like a quadrant. They have all of their math materials, such as their math notebook, their math textbook, some erasers, some manipulatives on one section. They have their reading materials in another, which is all of their reading books, their Post-its, their pencils, their reader's journals. Same thing for their writing area. And when we have those materials set up, students can focus on the learning instead of looking around the house for the materials that they might need. These questions are also really great end of the day questions too. Some things to sort of spark conversation. During this time, it's really important that we're talking to our kids about what's going on. What are you learning today? And so I like to frame some of these questions this way. What materials did you use today during reading? What part of reading did you use them with? So maybe students used their online Epic library instead of a book baggie, and they can talk to you about that. What titles did they read? And what did you listen for today during your writer's workshop? What new writing strategy did your teacher show you, or did you try out on your own? And having these questions be a part of your daily routine can really help to situate students to feeling more comfortable transitioning to virtual learning. Okay, parents and caregivers, I hope that this has helped. Feel free to watch us as much as you need. We are all here to support you and your students. We are going to continue putting together the best curriculum that we can. Our kids are doing an amazing job, and we thank each and every one of you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.